Sahih al-Bukhari 701. Narrated Amr. Jabir bin Abdullah said, Muadh bin Jabal used to pray with the Prophet, and then go to lead his people in prayer once he led the Isha prayer and recited Surat al-Baqarah. Somebody left the prayer and Muadh criticized him. The news reached the Prophet, and he said to Muadh, "You are putting the people to trial," and repeated it thrice, or said something similar, and ordered him to recite 2 medium surahs of Mufassal. Amr said that he had forgotten the names of those surahs. Sahih al-Bukhari 702. Narrated Abu Mas'udi. A man came and said, "O Allah's Messenger, by Allah, I keep away from the morning prayer only because so-and-so prolongs the prayer when he leads us in it." The narrator said, "I never saw Allah's apostle more furious in giving advice than he was at that time." He then said, "Some of you make people dislike good deeds, the prayer. So whoever among you leads the people in prayer should shorten it because among them are the weak, the old, and the needy." Sahih al-Bukhari 703. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's Messenger said, "If any one of you leads the people in the prayer, he should shorten it, for amongst them are the weak, the sick and the old, and if anyone among you prays alone, then he may prolong the prayer as much as he wishes." Sahih al-Bukhari 704. Narrated Abu Mas'udi. A man came and said, "O Allah's Messenger, I keep away from the morning prayer because so-and-so, Imam, prolongs it too much." Allah's Messenger became furious, and I had never seen him more furious than he was on that day. The Prophet said, "O people, some of you make others dislike the prayer, so whoever becomes an Imam he should shorten the prayer, as behind him are the weak, the old, and the needy." Sahih al-Bukhari 705. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari. Once a man was driving 2 nadiyas, camels used for agricultural purposes, and night had fallen. He found Muadh praying, so he made his camel kneel and joined Muadh in the prayer. The latter recited Surat al-Baqarah or Surat an-Nisa, so the man left the prayer and went away. When he came to know that Muadh had criticized him, he went to the Prophet and complained against Muadh. The Prophet said thrice, "O Muadh, are you putting the people to trial? It would have been better if you had recited Sabi Isma Rabbika Layla, 87, Wa Shamsi Wa Da'a, 91, or Wa Layli Ida Yasha, 92, for the old, the weak and the needy pray behind you." Jabir said that Muadh recited Surah al-Baqarah in the Isha prayer. Sahih al-Bukhari 706. Narrated Anas. The Prophet used to pray a short prayer in congregation, but used to offer it in a perfect manner. Sahih al-Bukhari 707. Narrated Abdullah bin Abi Qatada. My father said, the Prophet said, "When I stand for prayer, I intend to prolong it, but on hearing the cries of a child, I cut it short, as I dislike to trouble the child's mother." Sahih al-Bukhari 708. Narrated Anas bin Malik. I never prayed behind any Imam a prayer lighter and more perfect than that behind the Prophet, and he used to cut short the prayer whenever he heard the cries of a child, lest he should put the child's mother to trial. Sahih al-Bukhari 709. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet said, "When I start the prayer I intend to prolong it, but on hearing the cries of a child, I cut short the prayer because I know that the cries of the child will incite its mother's passions." Sahih al-Bukhari 710. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet said, "Whenever I start the prayer I intend to prolong it, but on hearing the cries of a child, I cut short the prayer because I know that the cries of the child will incite its mother's passions."